Hello guys and welcome back to MonLabo Linux. And if you are not subscribed yet, please go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe, comment, and also share with your colleague. You never know who wants this kind of content. So Terraform Workspace provide a mechanism to manage multiple isolated state file within a single Terraform configuration. This allows for deploying and managing multiple instances of the same infrastructure setup, such as development, staging, and production environment without duplicating the underlying Terraform code. We have the default workspace. So usually when you do type Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform this, you are doing that into what we call the default namespace, the default workspace. Okay, so workspace for those who are used to Kubernetes is a bit like a is a bit like a namespace. Okay. So the namespace is where you can create isolated resources. Then you have some use cases, okay, where they say that workspace are particularly useful for managing multiple environments, regional deployments, and multi-account deployment where the infrastructure configuration is largely identical but requires separate state management. Yeah, that's also true. But consideration, while workspace offer convenience for highly divergent environment or complex infrastructure setup, Terraform modules or separate directory for each environment might be more suitable alternative along with TerraGrant and other that I already mentioned. You can also use console on the by the way. So um, if everything is set for you, so let's go now and experience that through the CLI. Okay. So here, as you know, I already have my Terraform folder that we will come back to it. Okay, because we have to experience what is that uh, Terraform state or whatever, or Terraform workspace. Okay, so we have to experiment what is that. So we're gonna go ahead and start debugging on it. Okay, then we come back to that folder. So the first step, so you do Terraform dash help. Okay, just to see if that command is available here. You see this section. We already touched quite a few. Okay, but we have this one here called Terraform Workspace. Okay, so it says Workspace Management, which is quite convenient. Now, if you do Terraform Workspace dash help, now here you will see that it say new list. So they have new list, show, select, delete. These are the different sub commands that you can use along with the Terraform Workspace command. So delete, for example, is going to be to delete a workspace, list to list the workspace, new to create a new workspace, select to select a workspace that exists. But you can also say that, hey, if this workspace does not exist, please create it. That will be you can use the flag called or dash create. Okay, that will go ahead and see if the workspace exists or no, and then it's going to create it if it doesn't exist. But if it exists, it's just going to select it. So that will help you to set a new workspace. Okay, Terraform show will be used to show the current workspace where you are actually working. So how we can leverage this into our configurations, into our Terraform configurations. I've changed my code a little bit. Okay, so here this remains the same, variables remains the same as well. Okay, nothing has changed here with the default values. Then provider remains the same, output the same. Manage, I've changed it to be this one from what it was there before. Okay, you can check on timeline here to see what was there before. Okay, so you can check, you can see that this is what was there before. Okay, and then here I have this new way that I've changed. I'll change it to. So now if you were to check, for example, local. Okay, so for local, if I was to check that and go uh let's say like 1 hour ago, something like this. Yeah, so you will see that I've changed everything to be something like this. So basically I have, so if I come here, basically I have the local underscore file content that takes the content and adds a workspace on it. Okay, as a workspace on it that will say this is a this is the workspace for tan 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 tan. And then you see that I'm using Terraform.workspace pretty much everywhere. Okay, so if you read here, they say the name of the current selected workspace. So now we're gonna go ahead and just from the default try to do Terraform init. Okay, so this is the default workspace. So you do Terraform init, and then as you can see, we have the Terraform folder that has been created with some providers inside. Now here, another thing that I've added is these envs, which means for me environments. Okay, I've abbreviated it like that. So for dev for me will be attached to the default namespace. Okay, to the default workspace. Production will be for the production workspace. Stage will be for STAG, will be for the staging workspace. Okay, so it means that I'm gonna apply my Terraform configurations in a different workspace. So now how am I going to do that? So if you come here, you will see that for each of them I have the stage.tfvars. Okay, so if I was to come here and do and check that, for example, here you can see that it says what file content, this is Terraform workspace 4. Okay, and then we'll take the remaining from this one, so it will say 4 and then we pass this. Okay, as the data, you can see that I've changed quite a few of them here too. All right, so now let's go ahead and try to apply that. So we will do Terraform FMT to see if we have anything that needs to be set up. Okay, it says local, so yeah, fix local. Now we're gonna say validate. So do we have anything that goes with validate? So JSON no color test there for the path. Okay, anyway, so we're gonna say validate. All right, it says that the configurations are working perfectly, which is nice. Now we're gonna do Terraform plan. Okay, now here I'm gonna say -var file is something that we use from the past. Okay, so -var files. All right, and then we are giving it the path from where we are currently at. Okay, so we are in the separate folder. From that separate folder, so from that separation folder, we have env directly, so that's why we put dot. All right, and then .envs slash, for we're not going to go with prod as of now, so we go with dev. Okay, so with the dev, so that was what is the directory there? Dev. Okay, so we are coming here, here, and here. So now we are going to plan that and type enter. So now you will see that here. All right, so here now the file name which will be the zip file will be formed out of the terraform.workspace built-in uh, built-in variable that we have here. Okay, so it's going to be formed by that, also the default, and also the output here will show that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say apply dash auto dash approve, and then we're going to hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and create that here. So you can see that we have default here that says this is Terraform workspace 4 default. Okay, you can see that here. Nice. So we have a default here. Now here is where the thing will be completely different. So we have that, and everything is okay. Actually, nothing is going on. Okay, so here we have the Terraform state. Okay, Terraform state file that has the content and everything. So now we are going to switch to the Terraform, so let's say we are testing this code, it works well. Now we want to bring it to production environment. For that, we need to first deploy to the next environment. For example, stage. It depends on how you guys are doing that on your team, but here we are going to assume that you are doing that for stage. So now here you will do Terraform, okay, Terraform workspace. Okay, so workspace, and then you will say new and staging. For example, we are going to call that staging. So because normally, okay, if you were to go to, so let me go back to select default, for example. So if I was here, for example, and I was to do Terraform plan again, okay, you will see that it says no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration. Terraform has compared your real infrastructure against your configuration and found no differences. So no changes are needed. So this is the source of truth that Terraform will not really see what is going on. Okay, so we're gonna go to, so if we do list here, or Terraform list, okay, just for you to remember where we are. So if we do list, you will see that we are in default, so we have to switch to staging. So if I go to staging, select staging, oops, select, I meant to say select staging. Okay, so if we go back to staging, all right, the new one that we just created, and you will see that now here we have staging. Okay, okay, so now for staging, you don't need to type Terraform in it again. This is also something very beautiful, okay? Because it is already aware of the providers that you have, and it has added a new environment that you are currently in, okay? So you don't need to do that because it is aware of the provider, but it doesn't know anything about the state file that you have here, okay? Because that state file has everything. So we are going to create its own state file. So for that, you do Terraform plan, okay, and oops, okay, let's put that stg and stag. Yeah, I believe it's that, right? So we have stag, stg. Okay, so yeah, I know I'm not really good at naming convention. So here we are going to type enter. So now you will see that the content of the file here will be completely different. Okay, it will be completely different. So now you see that we have staging. Earlier it was default. Okay, so we have staging, we have staging here, and it's a zip file as well. Okay, it is a zip file. The other one was a tar.gzip file. No, it was also a zip file. For some reason I should have put probably something different. Okay, let's say we have different stuff. So it's a zip file. So all right, so now if we go ahead, okay, this is the current file that is there, this one. Okay, so now the thing is that it's going to create separate resources. Okay, separate resources according to the type of file, the type of configuration, input variable configuration file that we are providing. So let's go ahead and do Terraform apply dash auto dash approve. So we're gonna go ahead And as we type enter, you see that here we have staging. Okay, we have staging and we have staging.jz here. So yeah, that's the problem with this, that it is creating those resources within the same root folder of the Terraform configuration file. So, but we can see a clear differentiation here. This one was for staging and here was for default. Okay, so staging here and the other one was for default. So this means that we are actually working the right way, and you can see that it was able to find out that we need to create new resources. It wasn't aware of the state file. The thing is that now in this staging folder, we have staging folder for the workspace, we have a new state file. Okay, this is a new state file which is completely isolated from the other environments or workspaces. Okay, because this is actually staging. So now we're going to go ahead and go with another one, because if I try to do this again, you will say that nothing added, nothing changed, nothing destroyed. Okay, so your infrastructure matches your configuration and blah 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 blah. So it means that it doesn't see anything. Now let's see what we can do with select, and we will say dash or create production. Okay, so production. Okay, so if you hit enter, it has switched to production. So now we are pretty sure that our code is working fine, everyone is enjoying it, and we are going to push that to the public. Okay, so this is environment, you can see that this is production, so we got to be careful. So here now, if we do terraform plan, okay, so if we do terraform plan with production, we're going to see that is going to create new resources again, because we have two to add, zero to change, zero to destroy. So now the file will be called differently. Okay, so it has a tar.jz, okay, extension. So you can see that everything has changed, and we can go ahead and attempt to create all this by typing auto sorry, not auto, so it will be apply dash auto dash approve. And when we create that, you will see that we have production.tar.gz, and if we click on this file, we will have this one. So now, so this is how we are able to pass different data into different input variable of Terraform when we are using Terraform workspaces. And as you can see here, now we have two. Okay, don't panic, because for dev we say that we are going to attach it to what, the to the dev environment, okay, to the default workspace. And then here we say that we are going to attach it to the staging and production. So we have different state file for each of them. So if you like the content of this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your colleague, and put a comment, and smash that subscribe button to stay ahead with my content. I really work hard and I really appreciate the effort of liking this video. Thank you and stay safe.